it's time to move into a pecan torte with a French buttercream. Now, a French buttercream is really something special. It's almost like a custard style of buttercream. But before I can make the frosting, I better make the cake. This is a chiffon cake. It's absolutely beautiful. It starts with 2 cups of pecans. So I'm going to grind them with my flour added. 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. A teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. There we go. I can tell the pecans are evenly ground, and I'll just leave this in the food processor while I move on to the eggs. I've separated 5 eggs, and I'll whip the whites just on their own, no other ingredients, until they hold a soft peak. All right, the whites are done. And I'm just going to transfer them to another bowl so that I can take care of the yolk mixture. There's my 5 egg yolks. To that, I'll add a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, a cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of orange juice. To build on that orange flavor, about 2 teaspoons of orange zest. And the last addition, a little vanilla extract, a teaspoon. This goes back on the mixer. So now I'm ready to fold in the other ingredients I have ready. First, the ground pecans with the flour. And you'll really see the batter get dense at this point. That's okay, that's part of the recipe. But now I'm gonna lighten it all up with the whipped egg whites in 2 additions. The first addition of egg whites is to lighten up the base batter. And the last of the whites go in. You wanna be a little more delicate. So now I've got my chiffon base and my pan ready. I'm using a straight-sided angel food cake pan, which has been greased and then floured. In goes the batter. And you'll see it's nice and fluid, so you don't have to spread it or fuss with it. Just let it be. Now this is ready for the oven. I've preheated it to 325, and the cake takes about 50 minutes to bake. Oh, I love how this cake rises up. Pan and show you this beautiful cake. Look at that. To cool it, you want to invert it and let it cool completely in the pan while it's upside down. That way, the whipped egg whites stretch this way as they cool. Then when you turn the cake up, you've got a lovely, fluffy chiffon cake. I'll get this out of the way, and I have one here that is already fully cooled and ready to be frosted. Before I start making the buttercream though, I actually have to warm up and whip the egg yolks. That's the base for this buttercream. So I'll add a 1/4 cup of sugar to my 5 egg yolks, and then actually warm the egg yolks and the sugar together over a pot of barely simmering water. Yes, there we go. I'll put them into my mixer, and I'm just going to whip these for a minute to froth them up. I've got a 1/4 cup of sugar with a tablespoon of water and just a teaspoon of lemon juice. I'm going to boil this into a syrup, cooking it to 238 Fahrenheit. And a candy thermometer is your best friend here. Once it hits 238, I'll take it over to the mixer, turn the mixer on high, and pour it down the side of the bowl. Okay. Oh, look at that. It has doubled in volume, and it's nice and pale. Perfect. So now I can start adding my butter. 1.5 cups, cut into pieces so that way I can add it easily to my mixer. Try letting the first bits of butter work in before you add the next pieces, If it doesn't seem smooth, you know what the trick is? Just keep mixing. Beautiful. Soft and smooth and silky. Now, I'm going to add orange zest to my buttercream. I'll add a teaspoon of vanilla. And I will add a touch of salt here, a half a teaspoon. I'll stir that in. There we go. Now it's time to frost the cake. So I start by frosting a cake by putting frosting on the top. Then I work down. And the finishing touch, I have toasted pecans to put on top as garnish.